Everyone, it's the host that does the most, Miss Get It Indie herself, and I'm here because this is our, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th episode. Yes, guys, I'll be losing track. Our 9th episode of In Need of a Little TLE, and you're talking live with Indy. So, for many of those who weren't able probably to catch the last 2 podcasts, the last one before this one was just a live with me on Twitter talking about body positivity, so you can always still go watch that one. And the one before then that we had a while back was the one with Tyreek Edwards, and we were talking about the resources and spaces on campus. So it was really fun, and I'm thankful for everyone that watched it. We had like 200 viewers, so it was really great, and it was really amazing. So make sure, if you guys haven't, to go ahead and go watch those ones because they're really cool, they're really fun, and we have more stuff coming out. Now, this segment today is our part 2 of our intellect visions. It's not necessarily kind of towards the thing we're doing, but I felt like this person that I brought here today will be good for us right now because it's about October, so midterm season's coming up, the end of the semester is coming up, and that means that our patience have been very thin worn. So this is a person to me who I personally thought has put a positive impact on my life, but I feel like the people I've brought around her she's also done the same as well. She's really cool. She's really nice, y'all. Like I'm telling you, she's really fun. And she travels all the way from Richmond, is it?
Richmond, California.
Richmond, California, every Sunday and every other day that needs to do something towards the church. She is our pastor here in Chico, for those who don't know where we're at, but we're in Chico. She's our pastor at 821 Linden Street at Bethel AME Chico, and she's really great. She's really wonderful. So without further ado, let me introduce you guys to my pastor, a.k.a. my mom. Loretta Dickerson-Smith. How you doing, Pastor?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Miss India?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah. What's going on with you today?
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited every time I come to Chico, California, and I get to see not just the membership, but the community that comes out that wants to come and worship with us. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to what this podcast is going to perhaps even minister to me about.
Yeah. I mean, my podcast it's about bringing awareness to entertainment, so it's going to be fun.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, Pastor, I think you should probably tell the people a little about yourself. What made you probably become a pastor, and how this has probably, I don't know if it changed or impacted or enhanced your life, or what did it do to you?
Well, let's start from the beginning. I grew up, was reared in church. The first place I went was to church, 2 weeks old after my parents had me. So church has always been an integral part of my life, something that I saw as necessary. However, at about 12 years old, I clearly remember it. I sang a song called Beloved. And the words say this: Beloved, now we are the children of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we shall be like him. And something came over me that I had never experienced before. And in relation to singing that song that Sunday, I gave my life to Christ, and things became very different for me. At that point, did not think about being a pastor. I grew up in a church with a female pastor in the 60s and the 70s, and it was not easy for my former pastor. Her name was Elizabeth Morris, Reverend Morris. It was a lot of stigma, and it was a lot of things that she was not able to do as a female pastor. She couldn't go into many pulpits. She had to preach from the floor, and other things such as not even being able to serve communion was she able to do. Our overseer at the time would come, and he would serve us communion. So it wasn't parity. And so I didn't see myself seeing the pastorship as a vocation. I liked math and science, so I decided that I would do something using both of those subjects. So I'm the eldest of 5 children.
Me too.
And education was always something focused in my life. My parents wanted us to do well. and I did. I did well throughout elementary and high school education. Got a job as a chemical engineer. My alma mater is Stanford University, and I thought that I was living the epitome of my life, but there was always a draw to do something more, to help people, to show people that God loves them. I was in a neighborhood where one might have not considered a person that ended up like me to come from, to graduate, to do well in college, to get a job. And so I felt I needed to tell that good news to others. And then I also came to realize that worship became an integral part of my life, even in college. And we can talk about that a little bit more, because I think that's one of your questions.
Yeah, that is one of my questions. See, look, you already got me there. So with that being said, as y'all know, just like the last interview, I do have a few questions to ask. I feel like these are questions we always want to ask, but we never have the people to ask properly. Okay. So let's see which one's a good one. All right. As a college student, what do you think was standing your way to be successful?
Doubting myself. I did very well in high school. I think my GPA in high school was like 3.9. Never had to struggle with any of my subjects. And I got to college, and there weren't very many people that looked like me.
Makes sense.
And I was struggling with the first time in my life with math. I was taking calculus, and I was not doing well. My first quarter, I got a C+, and I almost died. Literally. I cried. I called my mom, and I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not getting this. And then I found something out. I found out that most of my classmates had taken a year of calculus in high school, which I had not had the opportunity to do. And I went and talked to my instructor. I still remember her. Her name is Miss Sinceri. Miss Sinceri said, come to my office hours, and I'll work with you. She says nobody comes. So twice a week, I would be sitting on the floor in front of her office waiting for her to come. And she was a very short woman. She was about 4'7".
Always short.
And she would open her door and she'd say, come on in. Tell me what you didn't understand in the lecture. And we would go over things. And she says, before the end of this year, you're going to be my A student. So she encouraged me. She kept telling me what I could do as opposed to what I could not do. So you heard what first quarter was. C+. Second quarter, B+. Third quarter, A. I ended up acing the class that I thought I would not pass because I didn't believe that I could do it, because I kept looking around me and seeing how successful others were. And so I doubted what my ability and capabilities were.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the college students' problem now, especially with the stigma of like we're supposed to graduate within 4 years. That one, I feel like that's a really big one because we're like worried about other people's time, and we're not trying to sit here and focus on our own time. Because like for someone, like I know a person right now, we're the same year and he is about to leave, and I'm still here a whole nother year. But I feel like people they confuse other people's timing and, like you said, their success with their own, and then they feel like they can't make it nowhere. And I feel like that's where, like, I've been there before. I'll be like, dang, well, they doing it. I don't, like, just even with podcasts, well, that person has this many followers. Am I going to get this many followers? But after a while, it's just like, you know what? Somebody's watching, and that's all that matters to me.
Yes.
And that's what y'all heard.
Because if you touch just one person and you can help them live a better and a more fruitful life, you've done something major. Major. Sometimes we think about having this big, wide impact, but sometimes it's the one person, two persons that we come into contact with. If we can affect change on their lives, we have done something so powerful, because that person might have given up. That person might have left school. That person might have had no hope.
Yeah.
So don't worry about, I got to touch everybody on campus. You might touch that one person that really needed to hear what you were telling them through your podcast.
Yeah. That's all that matters. Y'all see, you see what I'm saying? That's why she's like a mom to me. But like y'all heard, she went to office hours too. I feel like another thing for people of color, we have this problem with like talking to people when we need help, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
That's what you,
Yes.
trust me, you can ask her. That's something I had to struggle with for like 2 years. It's okay to ask for help, because the more you ask for help, the more you understand the material, the better you'll get a grade in that class, the higher your GPA will be, and the better career you'll have.
And can I just add something just to make sure you all hear this? A lot of times at the dinner table, our families don't converse about the subjects that we're studying. My parents could not help me with my math and science classes because that's not what their majors were. That's not what they were into. So when you hear certain things at the dinner table, when you're talking about physics or you're talking about what is acceleration and velocity, I didn't hear that stuff until I got into the class. A lot of families that they have dads or moms that are engineers, they may have heard this over and over and over again.
So that's why calculus was like probably like...
Yes. I hadn't heard those things. So don't give up. Partner yourself with people that have that knowledge. Go to your teachers. Stay in front of them. Let them know that you want to do well. Form a study group.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of ways that you can manage being successful in taking any certain courses.
Oh, one tip I can give you guys when it comes to your classes, I go by this little 3-rule thing. So if you have major classes that you're taking, and these are like your classes towards your degree that you're trying to finish off in, you always sit in the front of the class. So you know the best material. If it's a GE required course that you just need to get up out of there, you sit in the middle. You always need to sit in the middle, so then you can kind of be engaging, but then you know it's not really much, so you can kind of be in there. Now, last but not least, if it's an extracurricular class, sit in the back. Just go ahead and sit in the back. There's no point sitting in the front. I mean, personally to me, like, I think it was like American sports and film. I was like, I'm going to sit in the back. But then it was like, history 130, I'm going to sit in the middle. Anything media, I sit in the front. I'm seriously, Pastor, all my professors know me because I sit in the front. Or because I've sent them emails. Or because I'm the only black person in the class. But we're not going to talk about that. That's a different conversation for a different day. But that leads us to question number 2. What advice would you give students who are feeling overwhelmed or wanting to give up?
The first thing, usually a sign of wanting to give up is because you feel overwhelmed. You haven't structured your time well. Beginning of the semester, you've got to plan out when the midterms are, when your quizzes are taking place, and then you need to look at the syllabus to make sure you're up on your reading. If you have problem sets that you're completing, don't wait till Sunday night to do them.
Like I'm about to do today, y'all, so don't listen to me.
When I got my problem sets, I began at the beginning of the week. So if my class was on Monday, Tuesday night, I looked at my problems and I sort of got a feeling for what I needed to focus on when I was reading the material so that I could complete the problem set. A lot of our students procrastinate. And we wait to the 9th hour to get the work done, and we get overwhelmed because we have 30 problems and we've only done 2.
Yeah.
My advice is to organize your time, always look at what's due on a particular day, and allow yourself at least 4 days to do every assignment. That's to do it, go back and go over it again. If there's things that are questions, you can go and seek out help, and then you can get your work done on time.
See, y'all might want to listen to her because she been through it. You know how like us, our age to 2020, we be like, yeah, whatever, okay. And we don't ever want to listen to nobody until we get to the age we're like, yeah, we see exactly what you were talking about. So I do understand. I had to, my real mom, I was like, yeah, Mom, life is, I don't want to be an adult, don't I don't. It's difficult. But see, I do that too. When it comes to like my syllabus, me and my friends will take like our syllabus and then we'll put them out and like we'll mark them off. Or like for me, if you ever come over to my house and you see my room, there's like 2 big calendars. There's one literally for personal and one for school. And then the one for school has like, depending on, so if I have 5 classes or 5 different colors and each color coordinates to the class. So procrastination is still, right here on my shoulder, but at least when it comes to organization, I know where I need to start in my procrastination. So it allows me to be better. But I felt like writing it out double looking, going back and forth. And like you said, if I have a class on Monday, looking at the stuff on Tuesday, that's always something that helps me. But some days, Pastor, I'm just saying, Sunday just sound best. We need some sleep.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I'm bivocational. And if I took that attitude, I wouldn't have my sermons ready for Sunday because I work. And then I have a family. And then I also have a ministry. So to be fair for each of those aspects of my life, I have to commit time. You know, because you guys might say, what was she thinking about this week when she wrote that sermon?
Yeah, sometimes, I never actually thought of that. Like, what were you going through this week? I just like, you know what? She must have seen someone going through something else this week. Because I'd be like, yeah, that was for me. I don't even talk to her this week, but it was. That was a good one. Okay, on to the third question. I would say just from now from then to now, what resources helped you along your journey?
Wow. So counselors had a lot of impact on my life. They saw that I did well in math and science, and I went to an all-girls school. Ooh. So I didn't have for high school. Yeah, for high school, I went to an all-girls school.
No, I'm so sorry.
And the counselor saw that I did well in math and science, so they always encouraged me to take more advanced placement classes. So I took a lot of AP classes, and I went to college with college credit. And on my own in the summers, not only did I work, but I went to the JC so that I could get a preview of some of the coursework I was going to have next year. So for example, when I took physics, that summer I took intro to physics. And so it helped me understand what I was going to be up against for that next semester. So it's all about planning. It's all about if you want to do well in a class, you take that class before. My mom was wise enough to put me in algebra, 8th grade, summer school. I took algebra. So when I got to 9th grade and I took algebra, I aced it. It was like, because I had seen the material before, and it was just it made so much more sense to me. Yeah. So, yeah.
See, it sounds like a lot of preparation. Planning ahead, not just planning, but planning ahead.
But then I also wanted to go to certain schools.
Oh,
so, first of all, you do well in your classes, but then you have people that reach out to you, partner with them, because they can give you your recommendation letters. Your counselor can tell you what scholarships you might be eligible for and you should apply. I did all of that. I applied everywhere. I even got a scholarship from the Daughters of the American Revolution, which is something I never even heard of before. But they gave me $450. That bought my books my first year.
$450 don't sound like a lot, but it sure does out here. $450. That's books and some change, depending on your classes.
Yeah.
Whew, man, guys, I don't know if it's some that are younger watching, but let me tell y'all, college. As a person that goes to CSU Chico, which is a university, it is okay to go to a JC. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't let no one pressure you talking about something. University's better. A JC is better. Okay? Universities are just so much fun, and they're just so much great, and there's just so much historical aspects to it that you just have to endure. And they have so much more. I feel like a JC fits within a modern scale of how education is today, and I feel like universities stick to this old, they're staggering between old and new. So it's just do what's best for you. Pick whatever option in school is best for you. Don't let no one change your mind. If you feel like going to ARC down the street or Butte, then go to there. But if you want to go to CSU Chico or San Diego or NYU, do what you want to do, because I applaud it all.
But also, if I can add anything, don't just wait till you get to college to go to college. You can start college. Most community colleges will let you begin in your junior year.
Oh, yeah.
Take courses, see what it's about, go on campus. It'll give you an idea what you can expect when you do get to that university eventually, or if you plan to do 2 years and then go to university. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes people aren't ready to leave home. Sometimes we're not academically prepared to leave home. So sometimes that JC can get everything that we need in alignment so that when we go in as a junior, we go in strong and we go in with a good GPA, which then can afford us perhaps academic scholarships.
Yeah. Oh yeah, scholarships is another thing too. For CSU Chico students, the scholarships for not next spring, like this coming up spring, but the following fall, open up, I think, January 1st or somewhere towards the end of this semester. So make sure y'all look out for those. And when I'm telling y'all that, especially for my people of color and anybody, they have so many scholarships that nobody applies to, so they end up giving people who have the scholarships extra money. And I learned that out the hard way. So make sure y'all also do apply for that. Another question, another question I would probably ask you is, what is something that you know now as an adult that you will tell your younger self back then?
Whatever you decide to be in life, don't make it about what the money is. Don't make it about what you're passionate about. Okay. If I had to do it all over again, I believe I would have been in ministry officially when I graduated from high school. I was doing music ministry, but I was very afraid of the engagement, conversation, preaching. The piano sort of was my barrier, and I communicated about how I felt about God through my music, when in fact I think God had been preparing me my whole life for ministry. I used to be part of my parents' and my grandparents' street ministry in San Francisco. I couldn't stand it because I was so afraid that my friends would see me. You see, perceptions of what people think about you are not important. When God has gifted you or blessed you to do something, you cannot be afraid. You have to walk in that gift that He's given you. And if I could tell that to somebody else, if I could do it all over again, I would be shouting from the rooftops what God has given me and how He's blessed me and how He's allowed me to be in places that I thought I'd never be in. Yeah. And because I think I didn't do exactly what He wanted me to do when He did, I still have had the opportunity to share God's word to people, even on airplanes. It's weird. When I got really ill and almost died, I was able to preach in the hospital. So I knew God had a calling on my life, but I wanted to decide what I wanted to do. Listen to what God is telling you.
Yes. Thank you, Pastor. That was beautiful. As y'all know, this is our lovely pastor here at 821 Linden Street at Bethel AME Chico. Make sure you guys always come check her out. Wednesdays, there's gospel choir celebration rehearsals at 6, Bible study at 7 on Thursdays, and then worship starts at 11 on Sundays. So if you ever want to come down and get you some good word. And this is the thing about what I love about you, Pastor. I tell a lot of people to come to church, because I know with especially for the African American community, I feel like for when we were younger, church was so pushed down our throats. And so now when we get to 20, 21, 22, we don't want to come to church at all no more, because we feel like, one, we're going to get Bible thumped, and two, we're going to be judged. But you have made this place, I would personally say, not as yes, it's a place of worship, but you made it to where it was like a realization of reality too. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want someone that could sit here and correlate two subjects into one to help you connect with your life and help you find a way to get through, I think.
Oh, thank you, India. I love you, girl.
You're welcome, always and forever. But before we get out of here, like I said, this is like a words of encouragement kind of thing. Is there anything else you would like to tell the students of Chico State or anyone within the community, some advice within these last few months of the year 2019, and as the semester is almost coming to an end?
Keep your faith in God, and don't neglect to reach out to those in your community that are strong in the faith, and realize that all things are possible if you believe. You will never see the actualization or the realization of what God has placed on your life if you don't believe it can happen. That's what I found out. When I seriously began to rely on my faith and not see things as they are, but see things as they could be, that's when I began to understand that God can use us and He can bless us in ways that we would have never, ever imagined. I would not imagine that I would be speaking to people at conferences or singing at conferences. I didn't imagine that I'd be on campus and be able to give a workshop on campus. Those who God calls for whatever your call is, He will equip you. He will provide you the necessary resources so that you can do what He's planted in you and do it well.
I agree. And for those, whoever your higher up is, to make sure you always just seek them in the midst of the storm, something I've learned to do as well.
Oh, yeah. Because there are people there just waiting for you to say, I need some help.
So guys, these are your words of encouragement from my own pastor, Loretta Dickerson-Smith, and I'm glad you guys were able to meet her and see why I just love coming around her so much. I've been here, past 3 years?
3 years, yes.
Ooh, gosh, I don't think you never realize how fast 3 years goes until like get in the third year and you're just like, okay. But some advice from me, I would just say, go to office hours. Don't be afraid to talk to them, because let me tell you, the more you go talk to your professors, the more they'll recognize you and the more they'll help you get an A. I'm really trying to tell you.
That's true.
2, don't be afraid of sitting in the front. It's okay to sit in the front. It's okay to ask questions when you need help. It's okay to raise your hands, because I bet you bottom dollar there's more students in class that have more questions that they're wanting to ask but afraid to. 3, work on your own time. You don't have to rush. I'm telling you, I'm making it out of this in 5 years, and I'm not feeling no type of regret in any decision I made. I'm getting out of here in 5 years. It's okay. If you make it out in 4, that's on you. If you make it out in 5, that's on you. There's people in law school who are for school for almost 10 years tops. And that's 2 different kind of schools. So it's okay. You just have to focus on your own time. 4th, procrastination needs to be left at the front door before you do your work.
Yes.
You and procrastination need to have a friendly talk about what you guys are going to do with the rest of the semester, because midterm and finals are coming up, y'all. We have to be on that one. And 5, plan in advance. Be organized and be prepared for what you're going to have set forth. Know what you're going to be doing, and when you get into there, like I keep saying, ask questions. Like I said, you were in need of a little TLE. You were talking live with Indy, and you were here with my co-guest, my pastor, Loretta Dickerson-Smith. So I hope you guys all, at any point in time, if you're in here in Chico, come visit this church. 821 Linden Street, Chico, California, Bethel AME. It's really nice. It's really cool. It's very diverse, and it's very fun. And we have a great time here all the time. I'll be catching y'all. I'll be seeing y'all soon. Make sure y'all follow, subscribe, and we'll be catching y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.